Hello and welcome to today's The Last Week Ahead video. Now in today's The Last Week Ahead video, we'll be taking a look at two stocks. I'll take a look at Reliance Industries, plus I'll take a look at Escorts Kubota. I'll take a look at both of them from perspective of equity plus FNO. But before we go into all of that, let's quickly take a look at what I believe will affect our markets for the coming week in terms of news. Now, Monday's trading session will be highly affected by the slew of results that have come out over the weekend. This year we have had results from Havells, Federal Bank, Reliance, Axis, HDFC, ICICI, Kotak. So a lot of Nifty heavyweights and Bank Nifty heavyweights have given the results, and I believe that will severely affect our markets opening, as I expect the first 1 hour to be pretty volatile. Out of the list I mentioned, I would say the two results which stood out, Havells stood out as it was basically, I would say, a very poor result, and it was more of the management just saying that, trust me, things will be okay. And Federal Bank stood out as, I would call them, very, very good results by Federal Bank. And it seems that the bank is doing something right on a lot of fronts in terms of, from the fundamental point of view to financials and everything. So the rest of them, I'll put them in the just average category. They were not something special. So the market will have to adjust to all that news. And that I should call the first 1 hour to be pretty volatile. Second, the news to affect our markets again is going to be the Iran-America issue, because that is again steamed up over the weekend. But now I think the market is sort of getting used to it, like how the market over time got used to the Russia-Ukraine matter. It's starting to get used to the Iran and US matter. So if it provided stays at this level, the effect of it should start fading away, and we should start moving into a more sort of calmer market with a more structured volatility coming in. So that's really it on the news front. I'll cover Escorts first, after which we'll take a look at Reliance Industries. Now, coming to Escorts, the people who watched my last video on the stock will be noticing the levels, as I have not had to modify them. I had covered the stock when it was trading at roughly this point, and at that point I had said that I expect it to form a range and I expect it to break both sides, and until it gets out of the range, please do not try to trade it. That view has held, as from here until here we're basically nearly 2 weeks ahead, and a bit more than 2 weeks, and the stock has respected the range I had highlighted of 3016.80 and 2870.45. The stock has stayed smack dab within that range. But why have I chosen to cover it now? Now, according to me, now Escorts is reaching a point at which it's going to break out on either side. But we're going to have to wait to see which direction it breaks out. Because if you look at a trend catcher, it's completely flat at the zero mark also. It's not above it, it's not below it, it's flat at zero. The volume has basically dried up. So the stock is preparing to make a move. So now my trading plan is going to be again based on the same levels. If it breaks 3016, then I'm long to 3122. But I believe if it breaks now, it will break out with enough strength to break 3122 and go to 3292. On the other hand, if it breaks 2870, it's a short to 2750 and 2674. Again, I've not updated any levels below this, because these two are very key levels. And I think until the stock ends up going above or below them, then is when we can take a fresh look. So how am I going to trade Escorts? If it's a downside breakout, then I'm going to most likely trade it via futures and option sells. If it's an upside breakout, I'm going to trade it via futures and option buy. Why? Because downside breakout, I'll use option sells, because downside breakout, it will be going into a lot of support. So if I mix it with option buy, then I will end up basically getting a lot of volatility, which will just decay my option, even though I'm in the right direction. On the other hand, on option sell, we'll end up collecting premium and benefit from that choppy move. So that's on the downside, I'll mix futures plus option sell, while on the upside, I believe it will be a cleaner move. I'll mix future and option buy. So that's it for Escorts. Now let's take a look at Reliance. Now, Reliance Industries released its results over the weekend, and I believe I'll tell what I like and what worries me over the results. Now what I liked is the revenue growth is extremely still strong. Jio is continuing to produce healthy subscriber base and ARPU growth. Retail business is stable. The OTC business has benefited due to better refining margins. And basically the main positive which I believe is that each business of RL is contributing now. It's no longer can be considered purely an oil company like which it was. However, what was the worrisome part is the profit has technically fallen by 22% on a year-on-year basis, as last year's number included a one-off gain from the Asian Paints stake sale. So that plus also the retail margins are still not where I think people would want them to be, and capex continues to be at a very high level. So when we look at it in terms of, if you look at it fundamentally, not technically, the valuation is already discounting a lot of the future growth. So this is a stock which I don't believe will do anything exciting in the coming weeks even. It's going to be sort of the same, a bit up then a bit down, but nothing, you can't expect huge breakouts or anything on this stock on the upside. Upside moves, what I mean, will be limited. Let's say plus 6-7% on the upside and max, because of the results are good but they're not something spectacular. Now let's take a look at the chart in terms of technicals. Now when I take a look at the chart, if you see, as I said, Reliance even now has not been moving, because whether we like it or not, the big boys already knew the results coming out. You can see, for example, Federal Bank, it gave exceptional results. Look at it, the move it had given on Friday, pre-results. It tells you everything that you need to know about transparency models in India. So now coming to what I expect the stock to do. Now according to me, with RL's results, naturally there's some going to look at it positive, some going to look at it negative. So as long as it's between 1282 and 1352, this is going to continue being a box range. On Monday, if it opens and breaks this high, then I believe maximum we can go to is 135 to 1375, after which it will cool down and start coming back down. So what I'm most likely going to do now with the Reliance Industries, since I believe its upside and downside is sort of capped because the results are lackluster. On the downside is capped because whenever RL falls, it gets a lot of support to come, and upside is capped because the results are not something special. And as I said, the valuation, if you look at the price share of RL, it already accounts for a lot of the future growth they're trying to hint at. So I believe I'll be now selling options. I'll sell calls above 1375 and I'll sell puts either below 1282 or 1240. However, to sell puts, I'll first look at tomorrow's price action and see how it's going to go, and then the main thing will be just sell the range and then earn premium from the ranges within it. It's going to continue going up and down. As I said, if it breaks 1375, that's only when it can go to 1410, but I don't see that really happening. I believe it will just go towards this zone, falter, then just go either hover slightly a bit above and then come back down, or immediately get rejected and come back down. So that's how I look at Reliance Industries. I'm going to be more an option seller in it. I'm not intraday where I will look, okay, futures and option buy, but positionally, futures option buy are not going to really work in this stock because of what it is. Equity doesn't make sense. It's not got that much of an oomph to go anywhere special. So the best way to make money off RL right now is selling calls and selling puts and earning premium from the range, as it will give extremely good decay in terms of the sideways play. So that's it for RIL and Escorts. If you like the video, then hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.